beautiful San Clemente. We're so glad you're here with us this Sunday morning here in the sanctuary out there in Video Land. And we'd like you to join us on our first sing-along song with the fabulous Woolridges leading us. This is Jennifer Ruth Russell's song, Center of Creation.
Rise!
So, rise, as Wade said, yes. Go ahead and stand on up.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. I feel like a little seed in the fertile ground, growing, getting watered, the sun shining on me. Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in beautiful San Clemente. Whoever you are, whatever path you're on, you're welcome here because we are an all-inclusive center and we honor and we respect all walks of faith. So welcome home, everyone. So glad you're here this morning. We're going to start the service with our flames of faith. We do this every Sunday morning to remind us that we are all connected. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people, all sentient beings, all faiths, come from one great universal presence that we call Spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and the practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and the path of peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Tony Sparks lights that last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning.
I am so grateful to be here this morning. What a beautiful day for all of us. Let us go into prayer. Knowing God is everywhere present. God is light and beauty and joy, wisdom and clarity. It is whole, perfect, and complete. It is the absolute knowing of truth. And we are one with this presence. It lives within us. It guides and directs us. It allows us to be all we can be as spiritual beings having a human experience. And I know that each one of us, as we are one with the presence of God, we are one with each other. We are so blessed to be here, to listen to the message, to be filled with the promise of goodness, of the truth of God and the truth of ourselves, that we get to express all these qualities of God and absolutely in a perfect way. And I know the message today is guiding and directing us to be all that we can be, because there is so much more for each one of us to be. And I am so grateful that we are here together in this presence of each other to meet and greet and to hear the message that enlightens us on our way into the world. Knowing that everything is done with ease and effortlessness and perfection, I place these words of truth into the law of activity and power, knowing that it's done, it's already so, as we say together, and so it is. And now, will you read with me our affirmation? Okay. Here we go. All right. I dare to be me. I am hot stuff. And so it is. Very good. Okay. Now we're doing the Declaration of Principles with me. Okay. I believe in God, the one creative intelligence, operating through the universe and operating throughout the entire being, now and always. I believe this perfect spirit operates on a law of mind and creates my experience exactly according to my belief. I believe this perfect spirit operates on a law of mind to create my experience in mind, body, and total life experience. I use it now, and I rejoice in it, and so it is.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Sometimes we get a little confused. It's okay. God hears us no matter what we say. Oh, it is such a delight for me to bring back to the platform our beautiful Chelsea Van, who has just been, this is her first appearance after healing from her back surgery. So welcome back, Chelsea.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the welcome. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has had me in their thoughts and prayers. I have felt the love. It's been quite a journey for me, but I'm doing wonderfully, and I'm so excited to keep healing pain-free. And I just wanted to say thank you, because I've really felt the support of everyone here in the center. So thank you. I have often dreamed far-off place where a hero's welcome would be waiting for me, where the crowds will cheer when they see my face, and a voice keeps saying, this is where I'm meant to be. I'll be there someday. I can go the distance. I will find my way. If I can be strong, I know every mile will be worth my while. When I go the distance, I'll be right where I belong. Down an unknown road to embrace my fate. Though that road may wander, it will lead me to you. And 1,000 years would be worth the wait. It might take a lifetime, but somehow I'll see it through, and I won't look back. I can go the distance, and I'll stay on track, and I won't accept defeat. It's an uphill slope, but I won't lose hope till I go the distance and my journey is complete. But to look beyond the glory is the hardest part, for a hero's strength is measured by her heart. Like a shooting star, I will go the distance. I am on my way. Somehow I'll be strong. I don't care how far. I can go the distance till I find myself and know I'm right where I belong. I know every mile will be worth my while till I find my place and know I'm right where I
Thank you, Chelsea. That was wonderful. I tell you what, I wouldn't know that you had been incapacitated in any way, shape, or form. That was beautiful. Let's give her another hand. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. All righty. I'm very excited to share with you that we're going to have a dear, dear friend and mentor of mine will be joining us at the end of June. Reverend Dr. Michelle Wadley will be with us the last Sunday in June, so you want to mark your calendars for that. And she'll also be doing a workshop. She'll be working with our practitioners as well. So it'll be a great weekend, the end of June. I'm excited about that. So good morning. Our annual theme, what is it? Does anybody know? Living Everyday Wonder, we tell you every week, because it's such a wonderful grounding point for us to come back to this place of looking at this beautiful theme of really stepping into life and allowing ourselves to be in awe more often. I find myself in awe when I'm not too busy. When I'm busy in the world of, moving and shaking and making things happen, it's sometimes I forget, right? Sometimes I forget that I'm working with the power that is all of what I am and greater than what I am. And so as we look at this idea of living everyday wonder, this month we've been talking about creativity, and in the first week we talked about saying yes to life, saying yes to your heart's desire, really stepping in and allowing yourself to receive that download, if you will, or the pass-through of the creation and the creativity and the energy of the source that wants to express by means of you. We looked at our resistance and being a better listener on that second Sunday. And then last week we had a beautiful opportunity to look at the depth of the Easter message and the Passover message and what it had to tell us about the transformative power of knowing our true identity. And our true identity is that Christ consciousness, that place where our divinity and our humanity meet, right here, where you sit, right here where I stand. And so sometimes when we think about creativity, we think about this, painting or making something or maybe crafts. But the fact is that you are all creative. You're creating in every moment of every day. Sometimes you create by default. And what does that mean? It means that you might find yourself just allowing yourself to go along with the culture that you live in and the environment that you live in and just saying yes to whatever is being brought up or bubbled up in the world around you. But the fact is that we are always creating. You can't not create. You can create unconsciously. You can say yes to whatever comes up before you. But sometimes, when you find that life isn't moving and morphing in the way that you want it to, you have to stop and pause and look at what you're saying yes to. So today, our talk title is Boldly Going, right? Boldly Going. And you remember that wonderful Star Trek. Any Trekkies in the room? Yeah, right. That Star Trek, boldly going where no man has been before. We're not going where no man has been before. We are going where we originated. We are going to the source of our very center, our body temple, our soul. Everything that you are is right within you. Everything you need is already available to you. Ernest Holmes has this wonderful quote that I thought I would use at the end of the talk. I'm using it now. He says, healing is not creating a perfect idea or a perfect body. It is revealing an idea which is already perfect. And so as we look at this idea of being creative, what we're really talking about is revealing your wholeness. And we boldly walk forward knowing we're going to reveal that greater wholeness in a way that gives us confidence because we're working with the same thing that makes the grass grow. We're working with the same power that keeps the stars aligned in the sky. We're working with the same thing that knows how to take a caterpillar, devolve it into goo, recreate it completely so that it's a butterfly. That same power is creating your life, and you can co-create with it. So when we look at this idea of being, going forward boldly, well, it's easy to step forward boldly when you know the power that you're actually working with. And oftentimes when we are working with this creative process, this thing that makes the grass grow, and things begin to unfold in powerful and beautiful ways, it feels like magic. But it's not magic, it's science, it's scientific. The fact is that there's a power, a creative power that wants to express itself, that wants to be made manifest in our human experience. And so it's up to us to tap into that. And the scientific formula for all of this, authenticity plus the creative process equals demonstration. Authenticity plus the creative process equals demonstration. And what I mean by that is when we can get in alignment with our authentic self and work with that creative process intentionally, well then it has to outpicture. It has to outpicture as you. It has to outpicture as your authentic self. The problem comes in when we're not awake to that process, when we're sort of asleep at the wheel, when we're sort of just going with the flow. And that'll work for you. That'll definitely work for you to go with the flow until it doesn't, right? Until it doesn't. Oftentimes what'll happen, at least this is what happens to me, is there's some kind of longing inside and it begins to churn and bubble within me, something that I really feel called to. Sometimes it's as simple as being called to be in service to your neighbor, or being called to be in service to your community or your parent. And sometimes it's being called to a new job or a new city. But that churning, if we begin to lean into that, if we begin to allow that to come forward, what'll happen is everything unlike it begins to get a little wonky. Anybody have that experience? Gosh, I think I'll tell the story of how I sold my business. Did I tell that story before? All right, just checking. And it really started, I started working with a spiritual mentor, and she shared this beautiful quote with me. I was busy being an accountant and also a minister, and I wanted to do ministry more than I wanted to do accounting, but accounting was paying the bills. Accounting was paying the bills. And so this, you might know her, I was mentoring with Kathy Hearn at the time, and she shared this wonderful Emma Curtis Hopkins quote with me, and I'm going to share it with you now. It is not yours to demonstrate the cessation of work. It is yours to settle your faith. Keep at your tasks till your faith is so clear that the free spirit sifting through it takes the dishes out of your way and calls another to straighten your accounts while you are being used as a redeemer of death and pain. Pretty heavy, huh? Pretty powerful. So here I was thinking I had to figure everything out. And Dr. Kathy shares this powerful quote, which, have you ever heard words that where it just lands at the depth of your being? Well, that's what that quote did for me. So I put it in front of me, and I would read it every day, and I decided that I would just be about the business of what I was doing. And I would put one foot in front of the other. At one point, I put a little ad in Craigslist and also one of my state professional listserv. And I got a couple of nibbles, but it was clear I wasn't ready, and my practice wasn't ready to be sold either. So I just really inhabited the space that I was in. I decided I would love my business, and I would love my life, and I would love my ministry, and I would just do what I needed to do. And I continued to settle my faith about what I really wanted. And 2 years later, let's see, I was divorced. My key staff person got recruited from under me in December, right before we were getting ready for tax season. I had one of the toughest tax seasons I'd ever had. I hired a dear young woman who, bless her heart, didn't really think that the tax codes were right and was constantly questioning, why are they doing that? So it was really tough. But what I want to tell you is that sometimes you have to break down before you can break through. And I had a pretty big intention because I wanted to be used as a redeemer. I wanted to be in ministry. And so I guess it was about June, tax season was over, and I was trying to search for an email, and I typed in 3 letters, and this email popped up on my screen. And it was this blind email address I hadn't looked at in 2 years. And it said, are you still interested in selling your business? And I thought, well, yeah. After that tax season, I was done. And so I reached out to this, responded to the email. He responded right back. We began to talk, and it turned out they were the perfect people to buy my practice. And it turned out that my practice was ready to be sold, and I was completely ready to let go of it. And it was like magic. But it wasn't. It was science. And the reason it was science is because I was settling my faith. I was getting clear. We are always working with a creative process, and that creative process is always looking for the clearest channel for its expression. And so as I became clearer about what I wanted to do as a minister, as the body of work that I wanted to do with my life, as I let that clear spirit sift through my intentions, it made the way possible for me. It got everything that might have been an obstacle out of my way. And it's scientific. And so I boldly went forward, and within another 12 months, I was moving across the country. I trust the creative process because it is scientific. It's as scientific as the laws of gravity, that this perfect idea that we want to hold within our heart and in our minds and in our soul that calls us forward will never let you down. The only thing that gets in our way is us. The only thing that gets in our way is our fear or our doubt. And that's why you show up in a room like this, or that's why you tune in when you're watching us online or re-watching a talk, because you get support here, community that helps you to hold that idea, to get clearer, to settle your faith for whatever it is that's being called forth from you in an authentic and true way. And whether you are early in your career, or whether you're working with a diagnosis, or whether you're working in relationship, or whether you're retired and trying to figure out where it is you want to land in your retirement and what you want to do, all of that is God wanting to express itself by means of you. And so the work that we do is to simply settle our faith. And when we settle our faith, that means that we're allowing ourselves to be clearer and clearer and clearer. Could I be any more clear? There is a power that is within you, that is all of who you are, and that is greater than you, and it only knows how to express itself. And so as we look at this idea of going boldly, I invite you to consider a couple of questions so that you can be clear. Because what we're really looking at when we're talking about boldly going forth is allowing yourself to move forward, to press into those places of doubts. Dr. Kathy also said, which she got from Emma Curtis Hopkins, big doubt, big faith. That oftentimes when we find those places where we're questioning, where we're not sure, well, those questions allow us to tap into the deep roots of what it is we believe in, the things that we have faith in. And so when you come to this place of beginning to question or get clearer, there are a couple of questions that you can ask yourself so that you can tap into your authenticity. Remember, the formula I started with, authenticity plus the creative process equals manifestation. And so you want to get clearer about what it is that's authentic for you. And so here's a couple of questions. What do you do naturally that you love and always think about doing? What is it that comes to mind that gives you joy, that you can't wait to do? Question number 2, where do you lose yourself in an experience? What causes you to lose all track of time? What is it that when you're in the zone and you look up and you're like, how could it be 4 hours later that I've been doing this? Question number 3, where are you most at home? Where do you really feel the most comfortable in your skin? It's going to give you some clues about that authentic expression that wants to come through you. And then the 4th question is, what is the one thing that makes your heart sing more than anything else in the world? It might be singing. It might be playing a piano, right, Diane? It might be directing music and writing scores for choir. It might be, for me, for a while, it was doing taxes. It was a beautiful living. I got to meet like lots of people every year. They'd come in and I'd hear about the babies and the marriages and the new houses, and I'd be able to share in their joys and their sorrows. It was a wonderful expression and way to spend my time, until it wasn't. Until it was time to listen to that next impulse. Until it was time to ask myself a couple of questions so that I could get clearer about what authentically wanted to be expressed by means of me. Until I could get to this place, as Emma Curtis Hopkins said, that it's not ours to demonstrate the sensation of work. It's ours to settle our faith, to keep at the tasks till your faith is so clear that the free spirit sifting through it takes the dishes out of your way and calls another to straighten your accounts while you are being used as a redeemer of death and pain. And when I read that, when I think about that, I just think, use me, Spirit. What is it that wants to be known here on earth, in this community, in this larger community, in your family, in your profession? What is it that wants to be expressed, that's calling you forward? I invite you to trust that perfect formula of authenticity plus the creative process equals your life and your perfect demonstration. Step into that, lean into that. You are divinely supported, and I absolutely know, just like my story, the universe will conspire to create your greater good. Thank you very much. So let's pray. And as we drop into that beautiful place of stillness, as we allow ourselves to trust that divine, perfect knowingness, we know that there is a power and a presence that is absolutely self-existent. And that means that it always existed and it will continue to exist. And it is the all of everything we experience, and it is the all of us. And so I know for each one here today that we are that power and that presence of the one, the power and the presence of love, of beauty, of freedom, of wholeness. And we give complete license to that longing within us, for we know that is the spirit, our soul, that is calling us forward. And so I invite each one to simply say yes. Yes to all those beautiful qualities. Yes to our authenticity. Yes to the uniqueness and the wonderful gifts that each of us have to bring. I trust it. I know that this is God in action. And I simply let it go, depositing this with all of my faith into that place where the creative process calls everything forth. And I simply say yes, and yes, and yes again. And it is with a grateful heart that I speak this word, that I release it, that I let it go. And together we anchor this prayer by saying, and so it is. Thank you. And now I'd like to invite Chelsea back up to give us another beautiful song.
Thank you, Reverend Alice. This next song, I think, ties in perfectly with that idea of listening to our heart's song and being one with all that is around us, and finding that joy wherever it may be, however that may connect to you in your life, and knowing that it is all good. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know how I feel, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Oh, sleep in peace when day is done, that is what I mean. 'Cause this old world is a new world, and a bold world for me. For me. Stars when you shine, you know how I feel. Oh, scent of the pine, you know how I feel. And freedom is mine,
just wow. Just wow. That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Chelsea. Would the stewards please come forward? We have so many spiritual practices that we have in our spiritual toolbox. You know, we have prayer, we have meditation, we have sitting in the quiet, we have singing, and we have reading spiritual things. And one of my most favorite spiritual practices is giving back to where I've received my spiritual food. So that's what this time is. It's for our offering for our center. And so please say with me our offering. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply, and it's my faith in the abundant flow of this supply. Thank you.
We have a song by the Judds called I Know Where I'm Going, which relates to boldly go, because we're all hot stuff. I know where I'm going, don't you wanna come too? I got my reservations and I got one for you.
The train's leaving just after dark. There's always room for a
We have the most incredible music here at our center, don't we? It's so wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Chelsea. So beautiful. And Diane King Van, our music director, choir director on the piano. She's just fabulous. Dave and Lou and Ed on the guitar. We just love you all. Such a wonderful band. Thank you. Today on the camera, we have Gina Caruso. And in the back room, we have Dave and Mary and Dan and Clark. Ah, goodness, you just got a plethora of people back there today. Anyway, thank you so much for all that you do and all these wonderful people to make this service for you a wonderful and meaningful and delightful event. We have practitioners that are here to serve you every single Sunday. And a practitioner is a person who's been trained in the art and the science of affirmative prayer. And that's the basis of the science of mind, is our affirmative prayer. And we act as if, and we know it's already done. So if you have a bump in your road, or if everything's going great and you just wanted to continue, see one of our practitioners this morning. We have two over here on the tables and one in the Tranquility Room. And the practitioners today are Cheryl Lyman. She's in the back of the room. She's been praying for you and holding the consciousness for this service. She is the high watch today, knowing that you are open to ready to receive everything you've heard today. So we have Cheryl Lyman, Mary Casa, and Tony Sparks are our practitioners today. Would you please stand? Thank you very much. And anybody that's been serving this week in the service or all week long who's volunteered, please stand up so we can acknowledge how wonderful it is to be there with you. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do. And now we have some invitations.
Hey there. The installation of Reverend Alice as our spiritual director is less than 2 weeks away. That would be a week from this coming Friday. You remember Reverend Alice, she was just here a minute ago. Dr. Edward Vilchon, the spiritual leader of CSL, will be here for the ceremony, and special music will be provided by Jennifer Russell. Delicious finger foods will be served, and everyone will be dressed up, or not if you don't want to. If you have not already done so, please call or email the office to RSVP.
This Friday night is game night once again. Please sign up on the kiosk if you want to play Bunko. We need a minimum of 8 players, but 12 would be better.
Have you gotten on the ship? The Animal Kinship Ministry would like to remind you once again to bring photos of your animals, friends, and families. Your animal friends and family. Let's read that correctly. The idea is to continue to revitalize our center with a fresh photo collage.
And Conscious Connection meets here in the sanctuary after the service for a half-hour discussion about the ideas you heard in today's message.
And our closing song is Stand, so stand and be a stand. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there
so I know as we move through our week, we allow ourselves to stand in the truth of our very authenticity, our own self, knowing that we are indeed a stand for peace, love, and joy. And so it is. And so it is.